October 11th, 2025. The news breaks, and it just stops you in your tracks. Diane Keaton. Gone.
Yeah, it wasn't just sadness. It was this deep collective shock. How could this person, this, force of nature defined by constant motion, suddenly be still?
Exactly. And that first report, the one in People magazine, it was so stark, so scary.
Huh? Almost aggressively brief.
Right. No cause of death given. It immediately created this huge question mark, this like deliberate mystery around her last few months.
Welcome, by the way, to The Deep Dive. We're the podcast that gets into the stories behind the headlines in Hollywood and beyond.
And today our mission is to figure out how Diane Keaton, one of America's most, visible and beloved stars, managed to navigate her final chapter almost entirely unseen.
And that shock wasn't just us, the public. It rippled right through Hollywood. Even people close to her seemed genuinely stunned.
You had Robert De Niro saying the news took him totally by surprise, said he wasn't expecting her to leave.
And Jane Fonda, too, found it hard to believe or accept. That kind of reaction from collaborators, from peers, that's telling.
It absolutely is. It points straight towards what you mentioned, this carefully managed information barrier.
A protective wall, yeah. Built intentionally around her. It suggests this wasn't, an oversight. Her privacy was a conscious choice, maybe her final major decision.
Okay, so let's dig into that because there's a real contradiction at the heart of it. The official line from that one anonymous insider quoted in People was that she declined very suddenly.
Right, which was heartbreaking for everyone who loved her. That was the quote.
But how does a decline that takes months, apparently, still feel sudden enough to shock people who knew her for years? That's the puzzle.
Well, I think sudden here probably refers more to the speed and the severity of the final stage, not necessarily the start of the illness itself.
Okay, so the end might have been quick and intense, even if the underlying condition wasn't new.
Exactly. The final physical collapse could have been genuinely swift and unexpected in that context reflects maybe the emotional shock. Losing someone with that kind of vitality, that strength, it always feels abrupt on some level.
But it also reflects that information barrier you talked about.
Definitely. It confirms that her wider circle, even longtime friends, they were kept outside the loop. They weren't fully aware of just how serious things had become.
And that insider source confirms the isolation. Just her closest family. Her kids, Dexter and Duke, were with her. They maintained near absolute privacy.
It's kind of incredible, really. Keeping that level of privacy in modern Hollywood, it's almost unheard of. It speaks volumes about her determination and her family's commitment to honoring her wishes.
There's one detail that makes this withdrawal feel very real, very concrete. It's small, but kind of sad.
You mean Reggie, her golden retriever?
Yeah. She used to be out walking him every day. A fixture in her neighborhood. Visible, approachable.
And then just nothing. In the months leading up to her death, she'd apparently disappeared from public view. That daily walk, that small connection to the outside world, it just stopped.
That's the physical reality of the privacy shield going up. It wasn't abstract, it had visible consequences, even if people didn't piece it together at the time.
So you have the emotional shock, the privacy barrier, but then there's the house.
Ah, yes. The Brentwood house. If the insider account gives us the feeling of those last months, the house sale gives us the timeline.
It's huge. It suggests active preparation, deliberate choices being made. This wasn't just someone passively declining.
And this wasn't just any property. This was her dream home. She spent 8 years renovating this 1920s estate, poured her heart and soul into it.
It was pure Keaton. Her whole aesthetic, her passion for design and architecture made real. It was even the subject of her book, The House That Pinterest Built.
Right. So it was public, an extension of her identity, which made it all the more shocking when she listed it.
When was that? March 2025.
March 2025. 5 bedrooms, 7 baths, listed for around $29 million. And this is after she'd apparently told people she planned to stay there forever.
Okay, the timing. March 2025. That's just over 6 months before she passed away in October.
Exactly. Selling a place like that, it's a massive undertaking. Emotionally, logistically.
It was strongly suggests she knew her condition was terminal by early 2025. She was already putting things in order.
It reframes the whole narrative, doesn't it? It's not just about privacy. It's about foresight, about making arrangements.
It becomes this really poignant final gesture, an act of letting go, maybe wanting simplicity, closure.
Like you said before, she was known for her curation, her eye for design. This feels like the final act of production design on her own life.
Masterful in a way. A final, a very deliberate statement made through action, not words.
And if you're finding this kind of breakdown, looking at the clues and the timing as compelling as we do, maybe hit that subscribe button for the deep dive, because there's more to unpack.
Yeah, like how this intense privacy contrasts so sharply with her last public appearances.
Right. So her last known sighting, late 2024. Almost a full year before her death, she was doing holiday shopping in LA.
And reports said she looked great. Radiant and relaxed, smiling, waving. Quintessential Keaton.
Totally. The look was perfect.
Yep.
Black turtleneck, boxy trousers, blazer,
Yeah.
the bowler hat, the glasses. Iconic.
So think about that. If she was already dealing with a serious diagnosis then, or knew one was coming, that's quite a performance.
It really is. Projecting that effortless grace and charm, as they say, while carrying that knowledge. It's acting, isn't it? Playing the role of Diane Keaton one last time for the public.
And that gap between late 2024 and October 2025, it became this lost year for the public. But for her, it was clearly a time of, profound private struggle, hidden.
But importantly, the retreat was from the public, not necessarily from work, from creativity.
That's a key point. Her last film credit was Summer Camp in 2024. But she still had projects in development when she died. Artist in Residence, The Making of, Constance.
So she stayed engaged mentally, creatively, just off camera, off the public stage.
Which fits, doesn't it, when you look at the tributes that poured in from her peers, the themes that kept coming up.
Like Meryl Streep calling her our American treasure. Indelible, singular girl and brilliant artist.
Or Bette Midler, I loved her tribute, called her hilarious, a complete original and completely without guile, and then added, what you saw was who she was. Authenticity.
That seems to be the core of her legacy, really.
Yeah.
That she achieved so much, but always seemed utterly herself.
She played by her own rules, in her style, her career choices, her life choices.
Which makes that final act of profound silence almost.
Yeah.
The ultimate paradox. This woman whose persona was so expressive, so charmingly, la-di-da.
Yeah, that became part of the lexicon.
Right, and yet she chose complete quiet for her ending. Shared so much vibrancy, but kept the vulnerability entirely private.
But maybe that final choice doesn't contradict her legacy. Maybe it cements it. Because it's consistent with her entire life. That ethos of self-possession, of doing things her way. Think about Annie Hall, the menswear, the hat. That wasn't a costume. That was her.
And becoming a single mother in her 50s. Challenging expectations.
Exactly. Every major turn was on her terms. So managing her death with that same quiet dignity, that same control, it feels like the final expression of that same spirit.
The architect of her own originality right to the very end.
Yeah. And the quietness of her passing, it can't erase the sheer joyful noise she made throughout her life and career. That's the thing for you, the listener, to hold on to.
Nancy Sinatra put it perfectly, didn't she? She said Keaton's light will continue to shine through the art she leaves behind.
Couldn't say it better myself. The art remains, the impact remains.
You've been listening to The Deep Dive, where we uncover the stories shaping Hollywood, music, and pop culture. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that keep the stars shining.